Welcome to r/IDOWorkHereLady, where we share stories about employees that are mistaken for customers. And today we have 3 good stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story is, Manager comes to talk to customer. Customer says, "Who is this? I told you to get your manager up here." This is my first post, so let me know if I've done something wrong. So this didn't happen directly to me, but happened to one of my managers. I was the original employee trying to help the customer. Sorry this is so long. Anyway, I work at a grocery store and always work the closing shift, so I end up dealing with some pretty rude customers frequently. A few weeks ago, I encountered one of the rudest customers ever in my 3 years at the grocery store. Now, this happened at about 9:30 at night, and I was one of 2 employees still working the front end to help customers check out their groceries. It had been a very busy day, so my coworker and I had to split up to get everything done. I stayed up front to help the customers while he was finishing the tasks we needed to get done, and because I was alone, only the self-checkout was open. There had been no customers for a bit, so when I saw a customer start checking out her groceries at the self-checkout, I walked up to her, said hi, and asked if there was anything she would like help with. She was very polite, said hi, and said she didn't need help. So I walked away and kept myself busy with cleaning. When she finished and went to pay, her card was declined. Knowing that something had gone wrong, I walked up to see what was going on. Seeing her card had been declined, I told her what her options were. 1, she could try her card a second time, as the systems and pin pads at the store weren't the best. 2, she could use another form of payment. And 3, I could transfer her transaction to one of the regular registers, where she could try her card again, and it would tell me why it was being declined if it got declined again. Still being polite, she opted to go with the first option and tried her card a second time. Again, her card was declined. This is when things went south. She turned to me with the look all Karens have and said very rudely, "Fix this." I walked back up to her and said, "Your options are still the same as before. For me to do anything, I would have to transfer the transaction to a regular register." She declined and tried her card again. It was declined for a 3rd time. Again she said, "Fix it." Now, like I said before, it was a busy day and I was stressed and tired, so I was getting annoyed. As politely as I could, I said, "Ma'am, like I said before, I can't do anything about this unless I transfer the transaction to a regular register." She wasn't having it and responded, "No, you can fix it here." Once again I said, "Ma'am, like I've said 3 other times, I can't do anything about this unless I transfer the transaction to a regular register." She really didn't like that, and out came the line I really didn't want to hear. "You're being effing rude to a customer. You can't do that. Get your manager up here now. I won't let you get away with this." I looked at her in surprise, then thought, what the heck, why not? Nothing I'm saying is getting through to her anyway. So I walk over to the phone and page the manager to call the extension of the phone I was using. Apparently the manager was close to the front of the store, so rather than calling the phone, he just came up to the front. When I saw him, I went up to him and said, "Hey manager, this customer would like to talk to you. Her card won't go through and she's not letting me do what I can to help her." As I turn around to point out the customer to my manager, her jaw drops and she becomes even more angry and said, "Who is this? I told you to get your manager up here. This is just another customer. Now get your manager up here." Now, the managers don't have to wear the same uniform as the rest of us, which is blue or black jeans, a solid color collared shirt, an apron with the company name on it, and a name tag. The managers just have to wear business casual clothes and a name tag. And that is what my manager was wearing, and upon hearing this, my manager said, "I am the manager. My name is Manager." He pointed at his name tag and continued, "What seems to be the problem?" The rude customer then starts ranting. "I tried to pay and my card isn't going through, and this employee isn't doing anything to help. All she did was say, like I said multiple times very rudely, and saying nothing can be done here, that she has to transfer the transaction. She could have just fixed it here where all my stuff is. And now I've tried my card 4 times, and my phone says I've been charged 4 different times." Now, this may not seem like she's speaking rudely, but through all of this, she is dropping an F-bomb like every other word. After the rude customer finishes her rant, the manager turns to me and asks, what needs to be done to help her? He asks because he's one of the managers that doesn't know a whole lot about what is done up front at the registers, as he is a grocery manager. I respond saying, I would have to transfer the transaction to a regular register and have her try her card again. The system will then tell me why the card is being declined. My manager says to do it, so I transfer the transaction to a regular register and say, "Ma'am, please try your card again." She trudges over to the pin pad I gesture to, groaning, and what a shocker, her card got declined for a 5th time. The system gave me a message that basically told me I couldn't do anything about it, and that the customer would have to contact her bank to figure out what's going on. She was not having it, and erupted in yelling, directed at me and my manager. She was claiming that her card had been charged for a 5th time, but that's not possible with the systems we have. Now, like I said, the manager that night didn't know a lot about the registers. He knew how to cashier, but he didn't know what to do, so he says he has to call the assistant store director to figure out what to do. He does so and we wait. During this time, more customers are coming through and need help, so I remove myself from the situation and help the other customers. At some point, my manager gets the card to go through and the rude customer leaves. I did overhear though that because she had claimed that her card had been charged a total of 6 times, that the assistant store director would call in the morning to sort everything out. After the rude customer left, the manager comes up to me and asks, "She was rude, right?" And I reply, "Yes, very." The manager goes back to his work, and the rest of the night is pretty much uneventful. I thought I had heard the last of that rude customer, but the next day the assistant store director talked to me about what had happened and wanted to get my side of the story as well. I told him everything, and he nodded saying he thought so and told me that the customer had told him that I was the rude one and refused to help her. Luckily for me, the assistant store director knows me well and knows that I would never be rude to a customer. He also said that my story matched the story that the manager from the night before told him. Thankfully, since then I've not had to deal with this customer again. But working in a grocery store, there are always rude customers, and according to my coworkers, I seem to have to deal with most of them. Just my luck, right? The second story is, lady thought I was breaking into her neighbor's house. Last summer, I was house sitting for a neighborhood lady I knew. I had to walk over there twice a day to feed her cat and let out her dog and just other general stuff. She was kind of a hoarder, so I didn't exactly hang out inside, just played with her dog in the back. On the 4th day, I'm getting her mail, and her neighbor walks over and goes, "You know that's illegal." I was like, "What?" So she said, "Opening her mail, that's a crime. So is breaking into her house every day." I was mad at this point and an angsty teenager, so I said, "Shut up, I'm allowed to be here." Then I grabbed the mail, flipped her off, and walked inside. I watched out the window as she went back to her house, so I did my job, fed the cat, and took the dog out in the back. That's when I hear the police car. Turns out that bee called the police on me and told them I was breaking into her neighbor's house, and she feared for her family's safety. I'm a scrawny white girl, not exactly FBI's most wanted. I went out in the front with the dog, and Karen is pointing at me and screaming that I'm breaking the law, and the cop takes one look at me and is like, "Yeah, sure." He eventually got her to go to her house and get a water or something while he arrested me. I explained to him that I was house sitting and showed him my key. He believed me and told me to finish up, and he'd drive me home for my safety. The guy was chill, like late 20s, I guess. So I put the dog up and locked the door, and come back to see Karen leaving her house. So I go down the driveway to the police car, and she starts yelling at him again to arrest me. He has me get in the front seat of the car with the window rolled down, while he tried to calm her down. He explains I'm house sitting, and it's not illegal to bring in someone else's mail. All of a sudden, she gasps and backs up and yells, "Oh my gosh, she's bribing you with sex. I'm calling the police." The cop looked completely shocked, so she dials 911 and starts yelling into the phone. Meanwhile, the cop goes around to the back of the car and radios something in. About 5 minutes of her yelling later, another cop shows up, and she walks over and talks to the other cop. Karen then runs over and starts yelling that I'm a prostitute and was going to kill her family. The girl cop ignored her and came over to my window and says, "Okay, I'm gonna drive you home, sweetie, that all right?" I said yeah, but Karen did not like that. She started yelling again, but the cop spun around and said, "Ma'am, I suggest you stop. Making frivolous 911 calls is a misdemeanor, and this girl has done nothing illegal." She then had me get in her car and she drove me home. I never saw that Karen lady again. Sorry this post is long and incoherent. I was 15 when this happened. The third story is, "Kid, ma'am, I'm 25 and the only guy who can help you now." This is a story that my teammate reminded me of. It took place 2 years back. Cast, OP, me. K, Karen obviously. COP, Chief of Police. P, poor student. A little backstory. I had been a cop for 3 years at this point and was on plainclothes shift. As in a standard officer in plainclothes instead of my uniform. We get 3 of these shifts per month. When this happened. Now I'm in plainclothes, but bear in mind guns are close to being completely illegal here, so anyone ballsy enough to carry a gun and open without a uniform is completely unheard of, unless they're officers, i.e. me at the time. So guess how the conversation engaged? Walking into the reception to hand in my assignment report, and waiting on another receptionist to take my report in, when Karen walks in wanting to make a report. This is where we begin. Karen, is anyone working today? Why the F is a police station empty in daytime? Not empty. All 3 receptionists are busy, and all are in the back. OP, chill out. People have things to do and can't be in 2 places at once. Karen, stay out of this, kid. OP, why are you here? Karen, I'm here to make a report, but that's none of your business, is it? She said this very condescendingly. Bear in mind, I'm in plainclothes, but I have a holstered gun on my right hip, with my badge on said holster, along with spare mag pouches on my left hip. Anyone who pays any attention to what I wear would immediately realize I'm not an average Joe. OP, okay. Just my luck, COP walked in and sees she's fuming and asked me what's going on. I tried to tell him she's freaking out, but before I could, she called out first. Karen, finally, someone who works here. This kid shouldn't even be in here if he has nothing better to do than to admire cops when they're busy. COP. Ma'am, first of all, he's 25. Second, he's a cop himself. Third, everyone is busy, so can you be a bit more patient? Karen. Bull crap, he's too young to be a cop. OP. How old do you think I am? Karen. Not old enough. OP. As in you don't respect anyone if they're younger than you, is that it? Karen. Why should I? OP. Sir, permission to just leave my report with you and get back to my day? COP. Sure, get your partner and go on your patrol. OP. Aye aye, sir. Then I leave on my patrol just to get a call to the rich part of the city. So we went. Guess who called? Yup, Karen. Shaking my head. I let my partner handle her while I make the report in the car. He later told me that she asked if I'm shadowing him today, which he promptly replied with, "Ma'am, he's my superior, and I'm supposed to shadow him." Not really, but he just wanted to mess up her perspective. Then she decides to go ballistic on my partner, which ended up with him calling me in to help. I wonder why that didn't work out as well as she planned, as she wanted a supervisor. Karen. No, 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 I want your supervisor. P. Ma'am, like I told you, he is my supervisor. Karen. He's too young to be your supervisor. Technically, this is true. My partner joined the force in his late 20s, but I was in the force longer than him and outrank him, so I was still his superior even though he was older. P. Ma'am, if you want someone else, I'll go make the call. OP. Don't need to. I already called someone else to take over. We're needed elsewhere, so let's move. Karen. You can't just leave me. OP. You don't want our help, so we won't help. We'll get someone else to help. Just like that, we left her and got to an actual emergency call. Toddler stuck in a car with the keys inside and parents unable to get to him. She complained to my superiors, but no one gave a crap as she had a record. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you for listening to the end. Have a great day.